Welcome to evening meditation as we make our way through the month of October. And yesterday in many churches marked something called Freedom Sunday, which is an interesting idea, and thought we'd explore that a little bit this evening, because meditation offers both a freedom from things, but also a freedom to do things. This idea is actually there in the business world as well as in our personal and spiritual lives. So we're going to be looking at freedom from things, but perhaps even more important, freedom to do things. So as we come to this time that we've set aside, let's go through our routine of adjusting where we're sitting, feeling comfortable, but if you can sit a little bit upright, I find it helpful to rest my hands, backs of my hands on my knees. You might cradle them in your lap. Sit where's comfortable, but with a sense of awareness. And we're bringing our attention from what we've been talking about, what we've been thinking about. Bring our attention to the body, sitting where we are. We take 2 deep cleansing breaths. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Taking that breath longer than you would normally, conscious of the breath. Noticing the sensation of the air coming in through the nostrils. Very conscious of the sound you make as you breathe out. Conscious of a slowing down. You can either have your eyes closed or gaze lowered or use the image on the screen. We notice the physical movement, particularly the belly, as the diaphragm is pushed down and the belly rises on the in-breath, and then subsides on the out-breath. Try now to consciously just hold the breath for a count of 2 after you've breathed in. Conscious that this air we breathe is shared by all living creatures. Connected through the ground that holds us up, standing on the one earth, connected by the air we breathe, the one air that surrounds the earth. As you continue breathing in this gentle, relaxed way, recognizing that in our own human history, at one time we really were connected to nature. didn't see ourselves as separate, but over time, humans have become less attached. But we've also become more free from, we're no longer born into a particular role. We no longer see ourselves as born and condemned to a particular class. The Reformation, amongst other things, saw human beings as individuals before God. A freedom, with some exceptions of modern day, but generally a freedom from slavery. This idea of freedom from that which oppresses us, that which represses us. Freedom from external constraints. But there is a price for this freedom, which is greater independence and even isolation. And in fact, paradoxically, many people are miserable because of this freedom. Kierkegaard says, anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. So many people end up trying to escape or retreat away from freedom. Some by looking for an authoritarian leader, a strong leader who will look after them so they do not have to think and take responsibility. Or people might escape, retreat from freedom by adopting an identity, a way of dressing that is the same as others, groupthink. But in our discipleship, in our development, if we can stick with the freedom and look at the other half, not the freedom from things, but the freedom to connect to the world in a way that is spontaneous, to love, to be productive, to help others to succeed, to connect to the world, willing the growth and happiness of others. This freedom to operate in new ways is actually critical in business. Shared objectives, mutually positive outcomes. As we return to our breathing and our inner focus, I wonder, is there anything that we can identify as being free from? Or are there still patterns of belief and thought that keep us chained? Maybe as you breathe, just step back from yourselves, become your own inner observer, and just see if there are any thoughts playing. As Gandhi said, your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values. Maybe it's a bit like having a radio on in the background of the mind with channels that are full of rubbish. But with a radio, we can easily change channels or even switch it off. But for many of us with our thoughts, we sit there remaining tuned in. So as we sit here, maybe just reflect on today. Were there any instances where your thoughts took control in a situation? You behaved in a certain way. Which either indicates that you're not free from some sort of control, or maybe you thought and behaved in a surprisingly open way. You had the freedom to behave and to think in a way that connected, that enriched. I know very well that at times I have an inner voice that is critical or self-defeating, or tells me I'm not taken seriously. But these are just thoughts, and very often they don't reflect reality. We can challenge these thoughts. We can challenge the emotions that lie underneath. So that we can choose a wiser way. We can choose how to respond. Because freedom is partly about choice. The freedom to choose. Choosing time for people and ideas and self-growth rather than for maintenance and guarding and possessing. And I think there's a connection here to Franciscan mysticism, freedom to choose less rather than more. About poetry and dance, music and grace. Optimism and humour, gratitude and appreciation. Just allowing some of those positive thoughts as we listen to Tese, Laudate omnes generes. Every praise, everyone sings praise. Laudate omnes gentes. Laudate Dominum. Laudate omnes gentes. Sing praises, all you people. To live simply, then, one has to consider the simplicity of living in freedom, a freedom to choose space rather than clutter, to choose open and generous living rather than a secure, sheltered way. A couple of lines from a Buddhist poet, it might be Hindu. Is it enough money and a healthy body? Is it freedom of speech or a democracy? Seeing people who have these, do they really feel free? To be able to live unconditionally, to be able to smile, whatever the challenge may be, to be able to feel at home with whoever you see, that, I think, is what true freedom really could be. And it's this that meditation can give you and me. And so as we go into our longer silence, using this time simply to relax, holding the breath and focusing on the breath, or to replay the chant, Laudate omnes gentes, and hear the music in your head, or to sit and observe yourself, become your own observer of your own thoughts, and in noticing and being aware, able to let them go. In whatever way, sit quietly, enriched in the quietness and the stillness. And so we come out of our silence, sing praises, all you people. That thought of freedom from that which controls so many people, but a freedom to be even more expansive, to connect. A freedom to choose. To choose to grow. And so we stretch, we open our eyes, we connect with where we're sitting. We close with a prayer from Julian of Norwich. Through your love, O Lord, all your works have begun. By your love you sustain them, and in your love our life is everlasting. So let the beginning and ending of all our loving be to see you, O God, for ever and ever. Amen.